Today I have the honor of interviewing the chairman, Filippo Carzaniga of Fimer, the Italian inverter manufacturer who has recently acquired ABB, or ABB's inverter business. And so when you started this year, you had about 300 employees, and now you have about 1,100 in Italy, in Switzerland, in Finland, and in India. Quite a different situation. How have you prepared for it, and how are you managing?
Yeah, it is definitely completely different situation, because we started as a typical Italian medium company, and now we are definitely or a small multinational company or a large company. We are, yes, present in the countries that you mentioned, but we are definitely present in 26 different countries, because we have operation in Italy, in India, and R&D in India and in Finland. But we have a direct presence with the front end and with the O&M and the service, post-sales service, in 26 different countries. So we are covering all the Asia, Europe, of course, Middle East, India, US, and Central and Latin America. So the situation is definitely completely different respect to the past. What we are doing now is to integrate the company, but we are not talking about a 1+1 company. We are definitely giving a new shape to the new company, because we are integrating all the best elements that ABB had in the past, that are fundamental today to stay very updated and to be successful in the solar market, quite dimension, to have a very global capillary presence, and to be able to face the strong efforts that we have to do in the R&D and in the new technological frontier. But all these elements were not enough, because the solar market, as you know better than me, is a very specific market that runs very fast. And you need to be successful in this specific market, very focalized. And today we are focalized in solar for 94% of our business, because the rest is e-mobility. So we are always in the sustainability, but 94% of our business is solar. And with respect to the past structure, we have, of course, much more flexible and much more fast in taking decisions. So the company is not just ABB plus Fimer, but we are trying to merge all the company together, taking all the successful element from ABB and all the successful element from Fimer, having one of the, I think, most valuable structure into the solar scenario.
So, and how do you decide what is a successful element of Fimer and what is a successful element of ABB and bring it together?
Yeah, the situation in the past, we know perfectly which were our element of success. So to be very flexible, to be a fast company, a smaller one probably, and to be focalized in solar. But we noted in the past years that all these elements were not enough, because we need definitely to increase our dimension and to arrive on a critical mass big enough to face all the international competition, because in the past years solar market was quite local, because it was in Europe. Then it started to expand the activity in the Americas, especially in 2013-14 with the big installations, but now it's definitely a global market. And being a global market, you have also a global competition, and to face the global competition, a small dimension is not enough, because I perfectly remember when we started to develop solar inverter, the lifetime, for example, of a product was 6, 7, 8 years roughly. Today is less than 4. And to be always updated and to invest so much efforts in the product development, for example, or to invest so many efforts in the digitalizations, you need to have a very big critical mass, and it was a problem in the past for Fimer. So we started to analyze in the past years how to cover this gap, and talking with the ABB, of course, that was one of our main supplier for the electrification components. We enter in negotiation, and finally we acquired the entire solar business of ABB.
Before you had R&D workers at Fimer. Do they now jointly cooperate with ABB's team? Do you have to bring them in from Finland? to Lombardy in Italy. How does this work?
No, we are working with a single shape of the R&D. So we are integrating both the R&D. We are quite lucky because our product portfolio and the product portfolio of ABB are fully complementary. Because also if we take the centralized inverter, where was our core business, and the centralized inverter of ABB, we are talking about of two different architecture, because we work with the indoor solution and ABB the outdoor one. So we have some characteristic and some skill in our R&D that can be merged perfectly with all the skills of the R&D that we took from ABB. So the two teams are working together. What we are doing now is to integrate the architecture that we developed in the past with the architecture with ABB developed in the past. So we are trying definitely new technologies. We are trying new electronic topologies, and on the electronic, I think that today Fimer is one of, if not the most advanced company today in the market. And we are working just to integrate the two companies and taking it was the best experience and the best skills in the past years developed by Fimer and the best one developed by ABB. Today we are carrying on all the new platform as ABB, so on the string solutions, and we are starting to develop the new centralized platform that will be realized in the next year. That will be the first platform thanks to the merge of the two R&D. But the two R&D are working together, emphasizing all the skills of the former ABB R&D teams and the ABB R&D teams.
But as you said, at ABB, it was an outdoor solution. At Fimer, the central inverters were a containerized solution. I think one other difference that we can see was Fimer has suggested a 2,000 volt technology, whereas with ABB it was a 1,500 volt technology. Going forward from here, how do you merge these two, and what do we expect in the future? Which solutions will be continued?
Yeah, consider that we were one of the first company at the global level to certify a 1500 volts technology inverter, because we certified our first inverter 1500 volts in 2015, so really at the beginning. And to be very fast, also to invest in this technology was probably our main success, because all the numbers, we installed more than 6 gigawatt in the last 5 years, and all our numbers has been made thanks to the 1500 volts technology. What we think for the next steps is, of course, to going on to invest, but we have a limit now with the 1500 volts because is a limit of rules, because we cannot overcome the 1500 volts today, and we are expecting to see if any rules is changing. What we are going today now is going on to invest, so to integrate both solutions. We have a very strong experience, for example, in the modularity of our inverter. So our expectation is to integrate our characteristic in the architecture of the inverter with all the characteristics of ABB. So probably in the future we will abandon the indoor solutions to the outdoor solutions, but integrating all the good characteristics of our own inverter. For sure, in the next future, what we are going to invest is in digitalization, because digitalization is a must. Today is very advanced in all the string solutions that we have. What we are going today is to accelerate the process of digitalizations and the using of artificial intelligence also in the centralized solution.
And what will these digital solutions be able to do? What can you do with artificial intelligence in central inverters?
Yeah, absolutely. What is the integration of the artificial intelligence, for example, in the centralized inverter is for a predictable maintenance, for example, to speed up the commissioning process, to increase the connection of the inverter, and to increase the capacity of communication of the inverter with the environment. Because if you remember very well, when we started to develop and to construct construct our big PV plants, the interaction, for example, with the grid operator was very light. Today, the integration with the grid operator and the capacity to model the functionality of our inverter and the integration with the national grids in every country is becoming very strong. So the possibility to use digitalization and artificial intelligence to integrate our inverter in an environment that is bigger than before, it's one of the first steps that we want to reach.
Is this a strategy to increase the value of the inverter through functionality rather than becoming more price competitive and having to live with a lower margin?
No, what I think is that today talking about as an inverter just as a power converter is quite prehistorical. The power conversion is just one of the functions of our inverter today. If you want to make a parallel, it's like the smartphone today. To make phone calls is just one of the functions of a smartphone, and we are carrying on the same process also in the solar inverter. So thanks to the digital technologies, we are just adding additional options to our inverter, additional features, and the power conversion is just one of them. Regarding the price competition, I think that we don't have just to look at the price at the capex level. We need to change our focus, especially on the opex level, because when a customer, if we compare the solar market as a financial sector, because definitely there are some subjects that are investing their money and need to get back the investment in the shortest time possible. So if we consider only the capex, so only the price that our customers are paying during the purchase and the procurement phase, is just a small portion of the investments, because all the investments has been made during the entire life of a plant. If we consider that the lifetime of a PV plant is 15, 20, 25 years, what we have to perform very well is the OPEX, so after the installations, because the investments of our customers is guaranteed only if we perform very well after the installation. So what I think is to be carried on and to be cared is the reliability of the inverter, the quality of manufacturing, the quality of the R&D. And what we are carrying on very strictly today is our procurement process, of course, the quality of our supply chain, and especially the R&D to make our product as much as reliable as we can.